get to work down there in Austin, I think maybe we'll get something done.
Well, mister, I've been trying it for 10 years, and you know when you play poker, you've got to win once in a while.
James, since you're head of this committee, you reckon, by golly, we'll ever get any gas pumps and water?
I think we will.
Well, we just got to have it, don't we?
I've got to, and folks can't live.
Is that right? I tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to start a grass program, whereby that I can feed cattle. I raise cattle, and I can make an economical gain for 11 months in the year, which you can't the way it is.
Well, we don't have a 180-day growing season here, so we
Oh, yes, we do. We've got grasses now that will grow 11 months in the year right in this area.
Yeah, but we can't get the gas to pump this water to make that grass grow.
Well, let's work at it some more.
Well, if we carry this fight on to Austin like we're talking about, surely people will know right from wrong, give us a chance to get this gas so we can have some economical fuel.
That great land of the Texas Panhandle, rolling north of the once mighty, now dry Canadian River, has long been known as semi-arid country, dead center of the ominous Dust Bowl, and even now stunted by 5 consecutive years of drought. Yet it's a country with an amazing potential if well-laid plans could materialize. It was a common problem to businessmen, bankers, farmers who organized at Dumas. A simple problem. Their land was leaving. Rich, fertile topsoil, the topsoil that means prosperity, was being blown away, literally blown into the next county and the next, and on and on. That topsoil that was rich in minerals, rich in all the elements that produce crops, needed only one ingredient: water. It doesn't rain very often, 17, maybe 18 inches in the good years, not near enough to hold the wind-blown soil long enough to grow a crop. But this is an amazing area. 3 ingredients make it extraordinary: level, easily irrigated land, gas, and water. Not rainwater, but the largest continuous underground water reservoir west of the Mississippi, and the largest natural gas field in the world. Farmland, water, gas, ingredients that could mean a good living. The water's deep. Some 300 feet it has to be lifted by pumps, and the pumps must have fuel. But in the midst of the world's largest natural gas field, there's fuel in abundance to run irrigation pumps night and day, combining those ingredients into life-sustaining agriculture. But farmers of the Texas Panhandle, with gas wells dotting their fields, continue to raise crop after crop of blowing dust. They are denied the right to use that cheap, plentiful natural gas.
We've got the largest gas field that we know of anywhere, and also we have the biggest cattle disaster. 5 years of drought.
Right here's one of my gas wells. It's on this place. Right over here, it's got a valve. The valve is to my line to my irrigation well. Right now, they've cut me off. I can't even get any gas out of it.
I spent $40,000 on these 3 water wells. I got 17 gas wells on my land, and I can't get a puff of gas. The reason I drilled these water wells was because I'd promised gas to run them on.
Yes, the Texas Panhandle farmers were promised gas. It was a simple matter mechanically. The wells were right there. From them, 6- and 8-inch distribution pipes carry billions of cubic feet of natural gas to the compressor stations. Then thousands of miles to the east, the west, the north. Yet just a trickle of that gas flowing through the small half-inch pipe from gas well to nearby water pump would serve to irrigate thousands of acres. Less than 4% of all the gas allowed to be taken from the ground would operate water wells throughout that barren country, as many water wells as could possibly be drilled. Less than 4%. gas that actually belongs to the farmer on whose land stands the well. He owns 1/8 of the gas produced, his royalty, gas that could be piped just a few hundred yards from the gas well to the water pump. But on May 23rd, 1953, Phillips, the largest gas producer in the area, served notice on the farmers. No longer would they furnish gas from their wells for irrigation purposes. The farmers would have to use other fuel for their water pumps, expensive butane, or more expensive electricity. Butane trucked in, or electric current brought there by expensive transmission lines to run irrigation pumps in the shadow of the very compressor stations that send natural gas off to heat and cook for the nation, while the topsoil continues to blow away from the Texas Panhandle. For years they've tried to make a crop. Those that had gas, now cut off, gambled on paying that higher price for other fuels. The margin between profit and failure is too thin. In the 7-county area of the Panhandle, there are some 2 million acres of easy-to-irrigate soil lying above the huge underground water reservoirs. Those farmers who can operate their wells on other fuel are doing so with a great financial burden. With cheap natural gas, the annual income from farming operations irrigated by one water well is $12,000. With 7,000 wells that could be dug, the potential income is $84 million. $84 million a year from an area classed as a federal disaster relief region, an area abounding in all the ingredients for farming prosperity, an area now in its 5th consecutive year of drought. The men of the Texas Panhandle are not asking for anything to be given them. They want merely to buy what is rightfully theirs. They want the same rights that any landowner would have. The right to work hard, to buy needed ingredients, and to make a fair profit from their work and their investment. There are so many facts about the reasons for their drought they can't understand.
Well, it looks funny to me that my friends down in the South Plains can pump water with the gas that's produced from the wells on my place, and if you pump water in El Paso and in Arizona, they're lifting water 1,000 feet out there from water wells and gas that's produced right here in the Panhandle, and they're heating swimming pools out in California with it, and they're depriving me the right to make my family a living with it.
In other words, you'd like to buy a little of the gas that's produced here.
That's all at a fair price.
Throughout the picture of drought in the Panhandle, drought for the lack of fuel to run their pumps, water, of course, is constantly the topic of discussion. Phillips, the major gas-producing company, uses tons of water in their industrial installations. They sell water to their competitors at high prices, and they sell water to a city of 30,000 on a commercial basis. Irrigation puts water back into the soil. Prosperity is created. This is the last great resource of the Texas Panhandle. Exploit it, then it may go, as many other great natural resources have gone, without any profit to the people. How long will the principal ingredients last? The water, the gas, the patience of men.
Our wells are little wells, but they don't pay us but 3 4/10 cents for it.
About yours, Mark.
That's about the way mine are.
Well, when you say 3 4/10 cents, does that mean 1,000 cubic feet? Well, what are you willing to pay for that to pump a well with?
Well, according to buying butane, I'd be willing to pay 20 cents.
20 cents. In other words, that's some 6 or 7 times as much as they're selling it into the pipeline. Isn't that right?
The men won't let you have it?
No.
No, they won't let you have it. Finance is never a simple matter, and capital is essential in a dress shop or on a productive farm. Investors must have collateral before they'll untie their purse strings. They must have reasonable assurance that the borrower can repay. What have the money lenders learned about the Texas Panhandle? About the farmers with the rich soil and the unlimited underground water?
Sam, is it true that on a quarter section of land you can borrow about three times as much money where you have gas as where you don't have it?
Well, a lot of these lending agencies will loan you from $300 to $400 and $500 or $1,000 on a section of land that they will if you've got to burn other fuels. Now, in my area, I've got lots of gas and lots of land, but I'm deprived of the right of borrowing money because the loan companies will not put that kind of a loan out. Now then, if I should have this, I could make a utopia out of my 6,000 acres I own up there. I come here when that was a sea of grass, and I would like to see it bloom into a very productive agricultural area. That's what I'd like to see, wouldn't you?
Unable to borrow money, unable to irrigate, losing $5 an acre for the last 5 years, what can the North Plains farmer look forward to? One thing: bankruptcy, unless the blowing dust of the Texas Panhandle can be settled down by water, unless the padlocks on gas wells can be unlatched, unless the state of Texas will permit him to buy the tools of his trade, gas.
Well, you fellas may be discouraged, but some way you're going to get this gas, because nobody can live in the largest gas field in the world, coupled with the largest underground water reservoir west of the Mississippi, and no company or no group of companies is going to be able to sit on your future and your economic development, because you're bound to win because you're right.
Because you're right. The people of the wind-blown North Plains know they're right. They know that when the facts are known, they'll get their gas to irrigate their barren fields, changing them into waving fields of wheat, maize, and other crops that will bring to the dead center of the ominous Dust Bowl a whole new future.